The guys are gonna be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit the box. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. I got my bad hoodie with a rollie on, eating pasta like Corleone. I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, say? Whole month in the studio, said I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. Jalen, Gillis here, getting ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally, but from all around the nation. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today on this Football Monday. We got a lot of football to be able to cover. The NFL wildcard weekend just wrapped up, or getting ready to wrap up this evening. My Texans taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got the college football championship is set. Indiana is going to take on Miami in Miami, kind of a home game for Miami, as they'll be playing at the Orange Bowl as well. So lots to be able to cover here today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you can catch all of our content. That includes MCC basketball. They just wrapped up another great weekend as they started off conference this week against Weatherford. Both men and women's team able to come out with the victory. They'll be back in action this Saturday versus Ranger College at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Over at the Highlands. If you don't make it in person, you can watch right here on Centex Sports Network. Well, folks, like I said, we got a full show today, so we're going to get right to it. Joining me to my left, we've got the WISD Hall of Famer, former Texas Tech Red Raider, Mr. Wayne Walker, in the building with us. To his left, we got the most famous man in Waco, Mr. Rocky Miller, sporting his Cowboys gear today, as I'm sure plenty of Cowboys fans are doing today.
This day.
Since the Eagles took a loss yesterday. Fellas, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? You know, that San Francisco Eagles game, man, is a win-win for the Cowboys. Whoever won, they still don't like them. And Rocky coming here sporting their gear today.
Yeah,
man.
like I say, this yesterday was a good day because the Eagles lost. I couldn't lose in that game because one of those teams that I despise was gonna lose. Now we need Seattle to take care of business and put them out their misery altogether, and then I can really enjoy this playoff season. Once the Eagles and the 49ers are eliminated, then I can just exhale because those are two teams I absolutely. And then of course you know the Giants and the Washington Redskins. They been gone.
Yeah,
so
you got nothing to worry about with them.
So have the Cowboys.
Yeah,
we're not talking about that though.
They didn't even get in the tournament.
We're not talking about that.
They didn't get in the tournament, Rocky.
Yeah, we're not talking about that though.
Hey, well, that's what we're going to get right to. Let's talk about these old Philadelphia Eagles, man. Down go the Super Bowl champs from last year. The reigning and defending champs, Philadelphia Eagles, lose 23-19 at home versus the San Francisco 49ers. This was a closely contested game all the way to the end. 49ers really came out and hit them with a haymaker is what I would call it, as they came out of the fourth quarter, threw a touchdown with their receiver on a double reverse over to Christian McCaffrey. After that, they were able to dominate the ball. Jalen Hurts and his offense were not able to get going, got close towards the end of the game in that final minute, but Jalen Hurts unable to convert on a 4th down and 11, ended up giving the 49ers the ball back. They kneel it out. They get an upset win on the road against the Super Bowl champs. Fellas, what do we think about this 49ers win over the Philadelphia Eagles?
Man, that was a great win for San Francisco. You think about it, all their stars are out. They don't have really a number one receiver. They game plan Philadelphia, and they came out on top. I mean, Philadelphia came out, was very vanilla, kind of high schoolish type of offense. Their defense played great, 2 picks, a fumble, and you're supposed to win those games. 99% of the time you win those type of games. But it didn't happen for Philadelphia because they couldn't generate any offense, and San Francisco did a great job of game planning them. That pass they threw on the reverse, you don't throw that unless that's a game plan type of thing. It's something you see in the boot where, you know, I was looking at ESPN this morning, and they were showing a diagram of the whole play and what set up that play. And what it was they had been running that same motion, and that same motion, McCaffrey come out, nobody covers him. So the last time that they did it, they come out, they run the same motion, throw a reverse, nobody covers him, and there you go, you got 6 points. Game planning is so important in the NFL, and San Francisco did a great job of having Philadelphia's number, and they dialed up the right play at the right time and came out with a victory on the road.
You know, this is one of those games where I say the football gods just don't reward lazy football. And as much as, you know, in this game, I would say the Eagles are twice as good as
No doubt.
San Francisco.
No doubt.
But when you play lazy football, this is what happens. You got a guy that runs for 106 yards on 26 carries, and you also have a dynamic quarterback that's capable of running. You don't even introduce him in the running game. Rather than that, you allow him to drop back 35 times rather than putting him on. When you have Saquon Barkley being that effective in the running game, you got to let Hurts come out the back door a few times.
Yeah, no doubt
right?
about it.
Because what letting him go out the back door a few times opens up the running game for Saquon Barkley to get those big plays. Yeah. And so it was a lazy football. It was a lazy game plan. It was a lazy effort by the Eagles. This game was marred by poor execution by the Eagles. And then when you have your $30 million receiver dropping passes at the most critical times, man, you can't expect to win even when you're the better team in the NFL. The football gods will not let you win.
And point well taken, Rocky. Because let me tell you, the mistakes, they cost them big time.
Yes.
Even when they did have the 4th down, they took a timeout right before that. They could have stopped the clock 3 times and then got the ball back with some seconds left on the clock, which, I mean, would have helped them in a case where they could have had another opportunity to go down and score. Then you think about it, they tried to make Jalen Hurts a drop-back quarterback. When he's a dual-threat quarterback, you have to use his legs. Yeah. And, man, it was just
5
so
rushes
vanilla.
for 14 yards.
5 rushes for 14 yards. And everything he does is just like a little too late.
And I think 3 of those were tush pushes.
Yeah, yes.
And a lot of times, man, he diagrams, but he just diagrams it too late, and he throws the ball too late, or he takes off running too late. When you're a quarterback, man, you have to know how to react, and you have to throw the ball. Yeah, it's timing, because everything you do in the NFL is mostly timing. So he's just a tad bit late on his throws. Even when he takes off in the pocket, he's a tad bit late. And those errors and things like that cost him yesterday, man. Like you say, it was lazy football drops, not just by A.J. Brown, who's a top receiver, but Saquon Barkley dropped a pass, a couple. Devontae Smith dropped a couple. I mean, it was a high ball, but you still have to catch that ball when you're in playoff football. You have to have a lot of things happen, and they just didn't happen for Philadelphia yesterday.
One of the things you said, I remember, I was a huge Mike Vick fan when he was playing. And, you being a professional wide receiver, I was like, man, how would you like to play with Mike Vick? And you were like, no.
At all.
And I said, he was like, Rock, you don't understand. As a receiver, we want guys that is interested in throwing the ball, not running the ball at quarterback. But one thing I always forget this. He say those guys can get you paid because you make a lot of big plays with those guys, right? Yeah. And if you're not a true drop back passer, then what do you have to do if you're running quarterback in the passing game? You have to be able to hit those big plays, and it doesn't seem like Jalen Hurts has been able this season to hit the big plays in the passing game as a mobile running quarterback, and I think that bogs down their entire offense.
And just think about it. They don't even move the pocket. They have him straight drop back. They don't even move the pocket. They don't do play action with him. They don't do anything where he can use his leg. Like, most of the time, if I have a dual threat quarterback, which he is, man, you do play action, and then you giving them option to run in the pass.
So is the struggles of the Eagles, because it's the same thing we've seen all year. Nothing different happened yesterday that hasn't been happening all year long.
Yeah.
Is this more Jalen Hurts, or is this more Kevin Patolo, who is the current offensive coordinator, who might be gone?
It's both of them. Because
I agree. I think it's both.
I mean, when you spend so much time with offense coordinator, he has to adjust to you, and you have to adjust to him.
So
right?
I don't know if you guys remember last year, toward the end of the season last year, if you remember, they had pretty much taken the running game away from
Saquon.
No, not Saquon. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He wasn't running the ball late in the season.
But they did that as an offensive unit,
yes.
right? Yeah.
But then when they got in the playoffs, he looked like a running back. I want to say the first two games, the first two rounds, he ran the ball like 15 times each game. I think that's the game plan for the Eagles in big games. Like, you have to put him in the running game.
You have to utilize his legs,
and so,
because he's a threat.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's a big guy that can run, so you use that. You use every little nickel, every little advantage that you can take, everything that you can take advantage of, you take advantage of in that situation, especially when you're trying to win. And like you said, when Saquon Barkley rushes for over 100 yards, you get 3 turnovers, and out of all those 3 turnovers, I think they got 3 points out of those turnovers.
You're right.
So, man, that's ridiculous football. But I think the blame goes on both of them, because you spend 8 hours a day together. 8 hours a day. And if you're an offense coordinator, the quarterback is your best friend. You spend more time with him than anybody. And you meet all morning until you go out to practice at 2 or 3 o'clock, and then you go out there for 2 or 3 hours. But everything else is mental. Everything else is in the meeting rooms. Everything else, and you're talking about over a 6-month period of time that you do this. So you spend so much time together, so you have to come together as an offense coordinator and a quarterback, and you got to get a feel for him, and he has to get a feel for you.
I don't know that the Eagles will ever win the game as long as Jalen Hurts throwing 35 times. And you got to understand, and what I mean by throwing 35 times, this is a game that the Eagles led most of the game, and you still end up throwing the ball 35 times with Jalen. Like, I understand. There was one series when they had I want to say they had a 10-point lead, and they had just got an interception or maybe favorable field position. And rather than try to establish the running game or run the ball with Saquon Barkley, they take 3 consecutive shots. 2 with A.J. Green and one with one of the other guys. And I'm like, why even try to do that when you can just really – because I felt like if they could get up by more than 10, they could really put the game away for.
They had 3 3-and-outs in a row.
Yeah.
Three and a half in a row.
Trying to pass the ball now.
Yeah, trying to pass the ball. So some of it is coaching. A lot of it is coaching because if I'm the head coach and I have an offensive mind, I get with my offense coordinator and I'm in the box and he's in the box and I'm telling him, hey, we need to run the ball. Hey, we need to do something different. But when you game planning and you specifically game planning for playoff football, you got to come out and do some things that you didn't do all season to show them something different. Just like San Francisco did. San Francisco came out and did some things different that they hadn't done in the season. That's why Philadelphia was caught off guard.
Let me ask you this. If you're a head coach and you don't call plays and you don't call defense, you don't call defense, you pretty much
manage the game.
Manage the game, CEO, head coach, whatever you want to call it. Tell me what is Sirianni's quality that he brings to the table for the Eagles that makes him worthy of being a head coach?
Well, he's supposed to have this offensive mind. And what's worthy, he's got plenty of talent. You can't tell me that it wasn't more talent on that green team than it was on that white team.
But let's be clear. He's had 4 offensive coordinators.
4.
Yeah.
He won a Super Bowl with Kellen Moore. He went to a Super Bowl with Shane Steichen. Those 2 guys are now head coaches. So obviously there was value in those guys. When he had I forget the black guy he had at offensive coordinator in between the 2. He had a black guy that was Jalen Hurts' college coach or something.
Yeah.
And
that
then
didn't work and they ended up firing him.
He fired him, and then I think they're going to end up firing this guy.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
This guy too. So I think it's a situation where Sirianni, he has to invest in a quality offensive coordinator.
But he's an offensive mind, so you would think that he would go in.
Coach,
and
he didn't got the play call and do this, took away from him twice.
Who?
Sirianni. I think he called him when he first got there.
He was
and
supposed
they took
to be
him away
calling
from him
halfway through the season when they were struggling.
And then he started calling it with when they had the black guy, and then the black guy started calling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's no creativity with the offense at all, man.
No creativity.
Nothing scares you. You have to have something that scares you. And it's nothing that scares you because they so vanilla and they do the same thing week in and week out. It's easy to game plan for it. I mean, even if you have a defense that best 2 or 3 players on the defense is hurt.
Well, we know what a guy like Shanahan brings to the table as a play caller, play designer, and even we're able to see how the offense is able to overcome circumstances when they are shorthanded. Even when he has a quarterback that's making mistakes to really cost him the game. Again, I just think Sirianni, he's won a Super Bowl, so I can't take anything away from him. But I think he's one of those guys that if he doesn't have competent coordinators, and we know Vic Fangio is legendary defense coordinator. If he doesn't have an offense coordinator that can truly run the offense, then he's not as successful as a head coach. And I'm just wondering, how the Eagles look at this.
Well, they're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to. First of all, A.J. Brown cannot come back.
He's gone.
You burnt that bridge.
He's gone.
You burnt that bridge. This is a guy who's a great receiver, and this guy cried the whole year about the offense and not getting the ball. But in the most opportune time of the year during the playoffs, they feed you the ball, you drop a few balls. If you do that in the regular season, it's okay. Okay? Then your head coach attacks you. That relationship is burnt.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to trade him and try to get something for him.
I'm just afraid because this is Howie Roseman's MO. I'm so afraid that Howie Roseman is going to make a run at Pickens because he would almost be the perfect complement to a Devontae Smith kind of wide receiver.
Yeah,
but that's the kind of
he's the big physical receiver AJ is. With, the upside I think is a lot more. With Pickens.
I think A.J. Brown is this. He's what I call a guy that he's a grounded wide receiver, meaning that everything you throw to him is going to be contested because it has to be on the ground or catching and running. Whereas we've seen Pickens, he's so much better in the air.
Pickens has better hands.
He better at everything outside
He's
of
faster.
Yeah.
He's in the air.
He's big. He's big too. Yeah.
In the air, he's better.
A.J. Brown is a bully type.
He's a yak guy.
Yeah.
Get him the ball early, let him get some yak.
Now,
He's a
now,
yak guy.
now the deal with that is when you have a receiver like a A.J. Brown, you have to have a guy, in my opinion, more like I'm going to use him as an example, more like a Romo kind of quarterback who throws with anticipation and timing. I don't think, though Jalen Hurts has a great deep ball, I don't think he throws with anticipation and timing.
No. That's why you have to get you an offense coordinator that's in there that's good.
That works for him.
You know, it's just like, let me tell you, and we talking about teams, and we talk about Baltimore. I heard a report where they said in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson and his offense coordinator didn't speak for the last 4 months. They didn't talk.
That's ridiculous.
And it came down to Jim Harbaugh saying, "Hey, well they gave him an ultimatum. Hey, you need to fire Monken, and we need to do something else." And he said he wasn't going to do it. So that led
He didn't
to
want to
him-
stay there.
Huh?
He didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
He sabotaged,
Yeah.
self-sabotaged.
You know, and then it's reported that Lamar wants the guy from Seattle. He wants Kubiak Jr. as his offense coordinator because he has creativity and he attacks all areas of the field. So, man, when you're an offense coordinator and you have this quarterback, it has to be a relationship there. It has to be a relationship. It has to be a relationship where you can come together and you can game plan and do things together. You know, that's what makes Josh Allen, even though he's talented, he's big, he's gonna run over you and this, that, and other. But him and his, but it's
Let me
it's
ask
the
you this,
business
here,
of
Walker. This is
football.
the same thing that I've said with, and I put Josh Allen in this category. I put Lamar in this category. I'll even go far back to Mike Vick, and I can even remember going all the way back to Randall Cunningham. It seems like all these guys over time, the offensive play caller gets kind of stale and just starts calling plays and hopes that they create something rather than the play caller creating something with their design and creativity.
Well, that's why you got to listen to. But that's why both sides got to come together.
Yeah.
Because some things that Lamar can do or Jalen can do that you have to tell them what you can do and how you can do it. And then at this point, as offense coordinator, you have to say, well, no, I don't think you can do this, so we're going to come together. What do you think about this? Well, no, and you got to put your input on everything that's put in, every play that's put in, because when they put in the playbook, man, it's thousands of plays. It's thousands of plays that you study and you go on.
And situations.
And situation because you can run it from 3 wides or 2 tights, or you can run it from 1 back, you can run it from motion. It's so many ways you can run it left and right, you know, and you can run it with the receiver and you can run. So it's so many ways that you can run a play, and all this is in your head. But to come out at this point of the season in the playoffs and you don't have a game plan that's put together that's going to attack this defense that's been doing the same thing all year, that's
You know,
ridiculous.
What got him beat.
I watched, and you guys can go back and watch, but I watched Oregon motion into the same set about 5. I don't care how many times, and I know this is going back, going a little off, but I watched Oregon motion into the same formation like 5 separate times. Like they literally shifted into the same formation. And I said that to say this, is that I know sometimes that's your offense, but sometimes you got to get a defense a different look.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You have to because you got to think about it. The defense is game plan for all of that, right? So when you go into a game, you have to have some type of new wrinkle that they hadn't seen before. You have to do something different. You have to run it from a different formation or a different set or a different set of guys. Sometimes you can run it from 3 wides, and sometimes you can run it from 2 wides and 2, or put the running back there.
Yeah.
It's just so many things you can do in a number of ways you can do it. You can do it left to right, and then, or you can use motion to get to that formation. But you have to do something different so they can see something different. Because when you go over this and you game plan, when the defense game plan, it's all week. It's nothing but studying and looking at film and looking at these plays and looking
When
at
they do this, they're going to do this.
Yeah. And then when you go on the field, that's what you practice. That's the same thing that you studied, you practice, so it becomes embedded in your mind that, hey, soon as this guy does this, man, this is what's going to happen. That's how you diagram plays and this, that, and other. So on the offensive end, you got to do the same thing. When we go in motion and you look at it, this is what they're going to do. So this is what we're going to do. Instead of running the post, we're going to fake the post and run the court. And run the court.
And you bringing what I'm coming up to is I watched the Bears do something similar. They lined up in the same formation over and over again, but they never quite ran the same play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They almost seemed like they were trying to bait
And
the
they were.
defense
That's exactly what they were
into a
trying to do.
coverage
Yeah.
or into a situation, and ultimately they did with the fake screen go play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They baked the
Right. And because the defense has it in their head every time they line up to do that, that's what they're going to do.
They set 'em up.
They're going to set them up.
They
They're gonna
set 'em up the whole way.
And that's what they did with Philadelphia and San Francisco on the reverse pass. They ran the motion. They kept running the motion, but every time they run the motion, they fake the handoff, and then the guy go in motion, and then they'll throw a pass over here, or
they was watching McCaffrey.
and then one time they handed it to the guy that was doing the motion. You know, so they ran that motion, so you could see the defense heavy going that way. Heavy going that way. It wasn't number one guy on that side, and I don't understand why. And it was Blankenship. And I don't understand when you see McCaffrey right there.
Leak.
Why you leave? Why you leave? But
we were talking about that before the show. He big play hunting. Somebody's both guys went to the same spot. One guy's supposed to be there. Whoever the other guy is hunting. He trying to make a big play. I'm gonna come hit Jalen.
But he was accounted for. And the thing about it is,
Left back door.
when it gets into your mind, well, he gonna do nothing. He just gonna sit out there. So this time he come out, he drift out, then he takes off.
Yep.
It's too late.
It was already too late by that
but
time.
But they set him up, and that's how you run offense. You have to do something different, like you said, and you have to set teams up and show them something that you hadn't showed before.
Yeah, and I think it's a fine line between doing the same thing over and over again and then having a plan to when they make that adjustment into being able to do something different. I think a lot of times, like to me, the Eagles could take the same. The Eagles were in a situation where they never tried, no matter how successful Saquon Barkley was yesterday, he ran for over 100 yards. They never used Jalen Hurts as a runner off the zone read. You know, even a few times he had it open and he still handed it to Saquon Barkley.
When you get under center 7 times and you run the football out 7 times, don't do no play action, don't do no quarterback boot or anything. The defense knows
what
it.
you're doing.
Yeah, and then you ran the ball from shotgun formation too, but you passed it too. But you sometimes you got to just do something different. Even if you do play action and then just run a screen pass. And Philadelphia are good at running screens, but you didn't see a lot of screens yesterday. You didn't see anything.
No, you didn't see a lot of the things that they did on their way to a Super Bowl. Obviously, a different offensive coordinator than they had last year, but a lot of the things I feel like their entire philosophy changed this year, which was a coaching thing, and I think they got out-coached. That's why they lost to Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. Similar to this next game, we're talking about Green Bay and Chicago. I think this is another case of a guy being out-coached. Matt LaFleur and the Packers got off to a great start. 21-3 at halftime. I mean, I thought the game was over with. I thought I went about half and half this week on my game picks and my predictions on what I got right. But I thought this one was in the bag. Like, okay, yeah, Green Bay's they're gonna take the air out the ball in the second half. And in my opinion, poor play calling mixed with great opportunities taken advantage of by the Chicago Bears ended up Chicago winning 31-27, as you alluded to, got that game-winning touchdown on the fake screen pass to DJ Moore where he leaked out the back. Caleb Williams put it right on him. He threw for 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, gave the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love opportunity after opportunity. They turned the ball over. They missed 4th downs. They couldn't convert on field goal. Gave them so many different opportunities, and Green Bay's offense just went completely stagnant in the second half, unable to get into the end zone. And then Caleb Williams and the Bears scored 25 points in the fourth quarter. Wayne, I'll go back to you. What did you think was the main reason why Chicago was able to come out with a win over Green Bay?
Chicago was in the game the whole time to me. The first possession they get, they go down the field, they get to the 2-yard line, they go for it on 4th down, they don't get it. Right then, you should have took the points just to set it up so we can be ahead. They went for it on 4th down about 3 or 4 times in the first half, and they didn't get it.
Yep.
So they were close in their own territory. Oh, no, in the other team's own territory. So you just think about that, and they were always in the game. They just couldn't catch that break. And then with Green Bay, they just took their foot off the gas. They just stopped doing it. They just came stagnant and was trying to run time out. And you can't do that against a team, a Ben Johnson team that throws the ball and that's a big play offense.
I'm glad I wasn't seeing the game different in what you simply said. To me, this was a case where the only reason why they were down 21-3 at halftime because the coach made some dumb decisions. Like this was a case of dumb and dumber. Meaning that Ben Johnson was being dumb. I didn't get what he was doing. If you look at the first half, there was a field goal, there was an interception, they went out on downs twice. Chicago had never punted. You understand? Chicago never punted. It wasn't like Green Bay was stopping them or anything.
No.
They had punted,
themselves.
right? Yeah, they were stopping themselves. And Green Bay, I know they had an 85-yard drive where they scored and an 87-yard drive, but the 21-point score was 32 yards. So at worst case scenario, this game should have been what? 14-6?
Yeah, exactly.
Worst case scenario. So the score wasn't indicative of what happened. And then when you come up, and again, this is the NFL. This is just my opinion. This is the NFL played in adverse conditions. Sometimes in those adverse conditions, it's gonna be wind, it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be people up. So guys, what are we seeing? Receivers are going to drop passes in the cold, right? Guys are going to slip down. The wind is going to take some passes. So your offense is not going to be hitting all cylinders.
Unless you're a dome team.
Unless you're in a dome. Unless you're in a dome.
So we don't. How many dome teams do we have? Seattle?
No, they're not in the dome.
Not in the dome.
No.
Seattle not in the dome anymore?
No.
Oh, okay,
outside.
that's when I played. Okay.
They outside. They outside.
Ain't no dome teams left except the Rams.
That's
the
it.
Rams.
The Rams.
That's it.
But they don't get to go home. Everything they have to do is
on
go
the
on
road.
the road.
So what I'm saying is, in a game like whenever you go to a place like Chicago, you can expect to have some 3 and outs, some short drives, and you're going to have to be able to deal with that as a defense. And I think what ended up happening. And momentum is such a big thing in these. I think if this game is on the road, there's no way Chicago comes back.
Yeah.
But because it was at home and because Caleb Williams, even when they weren't scoring, he was making enough plays to keep the game interesting.
Right.
And then he's such an unconventional player. I don't want to put him in this same category because I think he's far more talented as a passer than Jalen Hurts. But he reminds me of Jalen Hurts when he's on those Super Bowl runs, is that when he gets that momentum going, he almost looks like a force of nature all by himself, and he's able to throw the ball, run the ball, make the right play. He's able to physically dominate a game. I just don't think
even with his legs.
I just don't think
he's fast.
I just don't think he's a guy that throws with great timing and anticipation. He's more of a guy that has to see it to throw it. And when you have those guys, but once he gets in the flow of the game,
And I think his coach is like that. I think Ben Johnson's like that. I think once Ben Johnson getting ready,
I think that's a great
you get out the way.
too. and he's just young.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
that'll
that's
come.
all it is.
All that'll come. But if they would have lost, that game would have
On
went on
Ben
Ben
Johnson.
Johnson.
On
Yeah,
Ben.
Ben Johnson.
They
I mean,
saved Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
They did.
You got to understand, the guy, didn't he go for it on his own 30-something yard line?
Yeah, yeah.
What was he doing? What was he thinking about?
I mean,
And so,
when you're an offensive play calling, you a guy like that, you feel like your offense.
He ain't even thinking about defense. He's
Yeah.
thinking about,
Yeah.
well, I can try this right. He ain't thinking about let's punt and get field position or let's take the points. He's thinking about, man, let's put some points up here on the board. That's what got Detroit in trouble when he was in Detroit.
Because that first drive, if I go all the way down and I get to the 2-yard line or whatever it is, and then I think they went for it on 4th down and didn't get it. I'm taking my points.
Yeah.
I'm setting it up to where we at least have a lead. When I can get points, I'm gonna get points. Now if it's 4th and 1, then I may go for it. But
Yeah.
4th and 2, he going for it for 4th and 4.
It don't matter
4th
where.
and 3. Well, it don't matter.
In Detroit,
Yeah.
they would go for it on 4th and 9s. I'm like, what are y'all doing? This is time to punt the ball. So yeah, Ben Johnson, like Rocky said, I think this was a Dumb and Dumber type. The more and more mistakes made on each side, I just kept thinking, why would they do that right here? Why would on both sides? It was either side they were doing.
now I will say this, and I don't want to kill LaFleur in this way because it's hard to do this once you got the lead. But he probably should have just left the game in Jordan Love's hands, just like he got the lead. And sometimes trying to limp home, you'll never get there. You know what I mean? He should have.
They were dinking and dunking the entire second half. There was no.
Well, what I'm saying is, they should have. The Jacobs for the most part, he wasn't effective in the running game.
He wasn't.
No.
They were. I don't know what.
They have to get to the running game. I think they have to. Yeah. And for the most part, they ran the ball pretty well in the first half. But in the second half,
they were getting 1 yard.
But when it's predictable, and you know they gonna run because they had a lead.
They ran 19 times. Jacobs ran 19 times, 50 yard, 55 yard, 2.9 yard. Yeah.
So when that's why football is so. When you talk about football, man, it's just a game. It's a chess match.
You can't
so
limp home.
when you become predictable and they know you gonna run, it's easy to stop it.
They were playing not to lose instead of playing to win the entire second half. Nothing was straight. I mean, Golden bailed them out a couple of times. They probably wouldn't have scored on that last touchdown.
You know, this game, when I was looking at it, what got me is in the third quarter, the Bears played bad enough in the third quarter for them to be really out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, they were 3 points closer than they were at halftime. You know what I mean? So I'm like, they were 6 points closer because they had kicked 2 field goals. So I'm like,
and when it got to that point, I said the Bears gonna win.
You know, when
it was 16-21, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I
said
they're gonna win.
See, my deal was when it got, I want to say either the last play or the first play of the third quarter, the last play of the third quarter got them to 9-16. And what I'm saying is, if they score a touchdown, they're within one score. That's what got me when they got to 9. I was like, and at that point, you saw the Green Bay defense had ran out of answers for Caleb.
They were out of gas.
Yeah,
they were out of gas. I mean, they threw the ball 50 times. That defense was gassed. I actually thought the game was over for the Packers winning when they scored 6 minutes left to go up 9 points, to go up 8 points with that Matthew Golden. When I was like, well, maybe they really got bailed out by Golden. Maybe about 6 people missed and ran it up for about 30 yards. I thought it was over then, but. Man, that defense was gassed, and Caleb Williams had it going, Ben Johnson had it going, and they were able to close them out. They move on to the next round. They'll be taking on the Rams. We'll talk about those second-round matchups in just a second. I want to go to the AFC. Josh Allen pulls out a victory over Jacksonville in what ended up being a really, really good game between these two teams. Josh Allen kind of put the Superman cape on in that second half, and especially when the Jaguars came down, took the lead, I think it was 24-20, with about 2.5 minutes left. I was like, oh, that's too much time. That's too much time. Buffalo, Josh Allen's about to get this ball. They don't have no receiver. None of that stuff matters. Josh Allen's going to go out there and make a play. That's exactly what they did, went out there and made a play. Threw for 273 yards in this game, rushed for 33 yards, rushed for 2 touchdowns as well in this one. It looked like how the Bills have looked all year. They're going to go as far as Josh Allen is going to take them. He put the Superman cape on last night, came out with a victory in that game. Wayne, what do you think about the Bills getting one over the Jags late?
Well, just like you just said, when you go down and score, and I think Jacksonville could have took the. They could have.
They could have.
I mean, when you score fast in the NFL and you give a team,
I'm not scoring fast against him.
Yeah, not against him. It's three guys that I don't want to score fast against, and that's Josh Allen, that's Patrick Mahomes, and that's Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Those guys, I don't want to score fast against those guys because those guys had the ability to come back and to beat you. That's what they thrive on is those game winning.
Matt Stafford as well because he did it this weekend too.
Yeah. So those guys, those veteran guys, I don't want to do that against.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville had an opportunity a couple of times where they didn't have to score so fast and get the ball in the end zone, and then they could have got it under 2 minutes, is what I'm saying. And they didn't take that opportunity, and they get that guy. And just like you said, Josh Allen. Josh Allen was Buffalo's offense.
Yes, he did everything.
You know, he was Buffalo's offense. This man on a quarterback sneak, he got 12 yards for a touchdown on the quarterback sneak. Right up.
My only question about Josh, one is, can he stay healthy the entire playoffs with that kind of usage rate? Because he was essentially your running game and your passing game last time. The other deal is when the weather gets a little more difficult, I think it gets problematic when the quarterback throws it and runs it and handles it as many times as he does, because you're going to have, fumbles, interceptions, stuff like that. I just think when you go outdoors, don't get me wrong, he's proven to be a great player outdoors, but I just think, I don't know how good their defense is.
It's not. Their defense is not good.
Well, and then
It's not good.
When you can run the ball, when you can run the ball against them like that, to me, when you say you have the best passing defense in the league, that doesn't mean anything when you can run the ball like that.
When a bad running team like the Jaguars rush for $150 on you, and they're not a good running team.
Yeah, and I mean, Jacksonville defense played great.
They did
for the most part.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you hold James Cook to, he got under 100 yards.
Yeah.
I know
he got 46 yards.
Under 50 yards.
46 yards,
15
and carries.
That's what's been carrying the Bills
along.
With Josh Allen. And they held him, but they just couldn't contain Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen took what the defense gave him. He had a couple of big plays, and the big plays that he made, they were great. But his passes were to Shakir. I think
12.
Shakir had 12 catches for under 100 yards. Or
82 yards.
You know, I mean, but he was just taking what they gave him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he played the right type of football to be able to win that game. And Trevor Lawrence played great for the most part, but when the game was on the line, he just couldn't come through.
Well, again, I just think this is you guys pointed out, this is just a situation where Josh Allen willed his team to victory. And let's be honest, I think this is what we got to point out, is when Trevor Lawrence had an opportunity to bring, because he had the opportunity to answer.
Yes, he did.
And in that moment, he didn't answer. You know, when you get the ball back with 1 minute left and you only need a field goal to tie it up, you're as a court, you got to realize how many, when Mahomes was down a field goal, how many seconds did he have on the clock?
16 seconds, I think. 16 seconds.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So we have to evaluate what Trevor Lawrence is as a quarterback. I think he's had a great run these last 6 weeks, and I want to commend him for really redeeming himself as a quarterback, right?
Absolutely.
But in this game, which was the biggest moment of his career, he has a QBR of 30.2.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that's not winning football.
No.
When you're playing against a guy like Josh Allen, who had a QBR of 87.2.
Doing
Well,
everything.
you just got to take what they give you, man. You can't force the ball down the field. And pressure busts pipes all the time. I don't care what you say. When that pressure is on you and you have to make a play, and they depending on you to make a play, and he's came through at some points, but this is a whole different level of football when you get to the playoffs, because it's win or go home. And he wasn't able to do that yesterday. And his team needed him. His team was dependent on him. And when they was dependent on him and needed him the most, you see what happens.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence,
You see what
unable to
happens.
get the job done. Josh Allen, like you said, Wayne, just taking exactly what the defense gives him. It's very reminiscent of Mahomes with no receivers. It's very reminiscent of Tom Brady's last 10 years of his career outside of Tampa Bay, where he didn't really have, he out there with Danny Woodhead and Danny Amendola, but all he was doing was taking what the defense giving. I'm not going to give you the football. I'm not going to turn it over. That's what Josh Allen did. Even rushing. He didn't rush for a lot of yards. He only rushed for 33 yards.
But he was efficient.
They came at the perfect time every single time that he ran the ball. So, man, hats off to Josh Allen.
This playoff reminds me of a few years ago when you had Matt Stafford in the playoffs. I don't want to say you had Dak Prescott, you had Jalen Hurts, you had a bunch of young guns, but you had Purdy. Me even had Geno or somebody. I can't remember who all, but and Matt Stafford was able to lead his team to the playoffs, and he was obviously the more veteran, established quarterback. I just wonder in this playoff, is it just going to be the guys who are the more veteran, established quarterbacks that end up leading their teams to the playoffs?
Yeah, because there's the Josh Allen scenario where he can take somebody out, the Matt Stafford scenario. Then you got a team like the Texans with their defense, a team like the Broncos with their defense, where you're not really relying on the offensive side. Yeah. So I'm like Rocky, I'm wondering which one is going to prevail. Is it going to be these staunch defenses, or is it going to be, look at the 49ers. It's just Purdy and Kyle Shanahan, really. Everybody else changes every other game.
Well, I think over on the NFC side, this is just me. I just think I don't think Purdy can get it done. I just think they're in a situation where this year they're just too banged up. So that moves. Of course, that means
Kittle out for the season now too. He got hurt in the first quarter towards Achilles.
That means Darnold is pushed to the front, and if you in a situation where it's Darnold, Caleb Williams, and Stafford, I take Stafford
every time. Every time I take.
You know what I mean? You got to understand. Or are we looking at a Burrow year for Caleb? Where we all know Burrow was able to get to the big game in his second year. Can Caleb navigate this? I say this: if Caleb can get past the Rams, anything is possible. But it's going to be heavy. It's going to be a tough game. Him navigating it against.
Because I think Sean McVay, and then you have the two wideouts, and you have a running game. You have a tight end in LA, the Rams. They're going to score the ball. They're going to do a better job than Green Bay, I think, because they have all the tools necessary.
Did you see him this weekend, though?
Yeah.
See,
that's to go to next.
Yeah. See, what I'm saying is, if I'll put it like this. The Rams' defense has to play better than they played against. They've had against Bryce Young.
Way better.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to play, particularly the secondary.
Because I don't think
if they let DJ Moore and Rome Odunze and Cole Kmet and all those guys, what's the new guy? Loveland. You know what I mean? Like they literally like Coker.
Burden.
Coker and Burden.
And I'm with you. I think Chicago has better offensive personnel way better offensive personnel and a better play caller than what they have in Carolina.
Everything is better.
Yeah.
Carolina wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs. Like they lived their way.
So it's gonna come down to the defense. It's gonna come down to the Rams defense because the offense is gonna be able to score. You got Devontae, Nakua, you got Karen Williams, and then you got Stafford, then you got Taylor. Then you have a offensive mind.
This could be a wild game like we saw Chicago in a few weeks ago. Was that Chicago in San Francisco we saw a few weeks ago in a wild game?
Yeah. And I think it could be.
And that's my point. So McVay and the guy from San Francisco, Shanahan, they come from the same tree.
Yeah.
So that's shared information. And that's two guys that kind of do the same thing. That's going to light them up.
Yeah.
But their defense has to play better because it's going to be an offensive game.
Now,
have to depend on the
only thing I'll say about the Bears, and this is something that kind of showed itself to be not this past game, but it showed up, is that the Bears been able to get their hands on footballs the whole year.
Yeah,
Now they didn't really get their hands on the ball against Green Bay, but against every other team in the league,
I think they led the league, right?
Yeah, in turnover. So if the Bears can now I don't think Ben Johnson has any interest in having a ball control type game plan, but I think to your point, they're going to have some help holding that Rams offense under control because you look at Devontae, you look at Nakua, or the tight end. You talking about both running backs. You know, it's going to be a different game.
It's going to be a completely
They got
different game.
Atwell.
They got to get after the ball.
Now, here's the other
everything
thing.
you need.
How much now? This is something people don't really talk about. That is part of Matt Stafford's history, and I want y'all to understand this. When you take his ass outside, he's a different football player.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's been his whole career.
Yeah.
His whole
My
career.
thing is, you can't let him step up. So you have to rush him from the middle.
Okay.
And
So-
that's the problem with both of these teams. Well, not the Rams. The Rams,
You have to attack him from the middle. He wants to step up and he wants to sit here in the pocket and
not
he wants to
going
step
side
up
to
and throw. He ain't going, But you have to rush him. You have to put pressure. You put pressure on him.
he's a different guy, and I think that's the reason why the Rams gave up so many points against
So you
Carolina.
have to
They weren't
blitz
able to
him.
get no pressure.
And when you
On
blitz
back
him,
up.
you're taking your risk because he's a small quarterback and he's got good
Yeah,
receivers.
you
Because
playing
when
with fire.
because they got good three. I think Atwell, I think Nakua and Devontae Adams is probably one of the best receiving cores in the whole NFL.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
with one of the best play callers in Sean
Yeah,
McVay out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be an offensive shootout. Rams sneak past the Panthers this past weekend. Bryce Young made plays whenever they need to make plays. They got guys that step up. I think T-Mac is a real number one receiver. Jalen Coker emerged in this game, had a really great game for the Panthers. But without the Rams being able to get that rush like we just talked about, it leaves them open. So looking forward to this game against the Bears. As you guys said, the Rams defense has to play better. Really, their secondary has been garbage all year long. But those young edge rushers and
Verse and all those
Young
guys,
and Jared Verse,
they
they've
got
been
to
getting
play.
after it. Young got 13 sacks, I think, this year, and Jared Verse got 8.5 sacks this year to go along with it. So if they're able to rush, that's what gets their defense going. But outside of that, if they're not getting pressure, man, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson they can run the ball. Their team, Chicago, can run. DeAndre Swift and Monunga, they can run that football as well. So that's going to be a really interesting matchup. Last game we didn't cover yet, the Chargers versus the Patriots. Another one I got wrong. I thought the veteran leadership.
I want to talk about this because this is something that I've been on for a minute, and this is the peculiar case of Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Everybody, he's a top 5 quarterback. They swear he's a top 5 quarterback. But each and every time, and this is your team, Walker.
This is my team, but I told you this team was going to lose too last year.
You did.
I told you.
I picked
No,
the
but
Chargers.
what
Yeah,
I'm
you
saying
said
is,
they were gonna lose.
why is it, and I'm going to ask you, why is it when Justin Herbert gets in these situations, the entire NFL, media, and community got excuses why he hadn't had playoff success?
His
They have certain guys like that.
He lost both his tackles.
It's a couple of NFL darlings they do that for, man. He's one of them.
He didn't have a running back, but it's always the same excuse. He just hadn't gotten the job done. You just got to take accountability for it.
Is he
He
over
can't
in the
get a job.
playoffs?
Yeah. He had
He blew a 21-point lead to Trevor Lawrence 3
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
He threw 4
yeah.
picks against the Texans last year.
And his line didn't help him at all.
No.
they played horrible.
What I'm saying
sacked
is,
6 times.
my only point is that Herbert doesn't take any criticism for his failures.
Yeah.
You got to understand, he's seen as a top quarterback, even sometimes. Let's
when
be
he
honest.
fails.
Even when his record doesn't indicate
It never has.
he's gotten in every time as a wild card. He's never he's never won a division or anything like that. They blame that on him playing in the same division as the Chiefs and going and so forth. Now we have to look at it and say, this is, even guys like Bo Nix are seen as quarterbacks that are under his caliber that ultimately at this point is going to have more success than Justin Hurts. I mean, not just Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? So when is he going to be accountable, and when are they going to start saying, "Hey, you are what you are"?
Yeah, he's just not getting it done.
Yeah.
I mean,
my thing is, like, he didn't get a lot of help. They played his receivers man to man last night.
Yeah, because they didn't fear
That's
a
a
soul.
slap.
They didn't fear nobody
and I
out
told
there.
you, when you talking about Quentin Johnson, trash.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
yeah.
I hate to call an NFL player trash.
No, I get what you mean, though.
But
I mean,
he can't. If you can't, you supposed to be a speed guy, and you can't get off the bump and run. Man, that's what you want. I would dare guys that play me man and man bump and run, even though I ain't had that much time in the league or whatever. But that was
it wasn't because they were playing you bump and run.
No, you better get back off me. Yeah. So I mean, because that's just a slap in your face when a guy can come up and say, "Hey, I'm finna get right in your face, 1 yard off you. I'm finna jam you, and you can't do nothing."
Now, like I said, Quinn Johnson is one of those guys. He's what I call a matchup guy. If he doesn't have a matchup, then he can't give you anything.
And I don't like the way Harbaugh coach either. I don't. I'm gonna tell you, I don't like his offense. I don't like his offense at all. His defense is pretty legit.
Is Lombardi the offensive coordinator still? He brought one of his guys as offensive coordinator. I can't remember.
I think so. I think Lombardi was with Baltimore and then came over with him. But yeah, I just didn't like the offense, man. I mean, because you had to do some.
Greg Roman, that's what I was talking
Greg
about.
Roman, yeah. And I don't like his offense. And then they got to get them a running back. They got to get them another running back.
Well, like I said,
Love, y'all better go get him.
When you running man to man, can't you just do some quarterback draws? And because you got to do it because he's a dual threat guy for all intents and purposes.
He don't like running Herbert, and I think he should more. Yeah. He's a physical specimen. He's faster than what guys give him credit for. I mean, he's 6'6". He gonna fall forward for at least a couple yards if he don't do nothing else.
But you got to do some things. And they don't use a lot of motion either. You got to use motion to get that man off, because when you use motion, you got a head full of steam, and you can go forward. So that's gonna back him up already, and he can't. It won't allow a guy to jam.
I'm not a fan of no Greg Roman offenses. I didn't like him when he was at Baltimore. Too much 12 and 13 personnel stuff, man. You got this type of quarterback.
Well, I just think Greg Roman is a simple situation of if he can't sustain a running game,
it's over.
It's over.
It's over with. It was the same way in Baltimore.
And that's the reason they brought him over from Baltimore, because
the running game.
Harbaugh is a run guy. He wants to do what he did at Michigan. He wants to run the ball, play possession ball, and win with his defense. His defense did well, but his offense couldn't come through.
Yeah,
what'd you guys think about Drake May in his first playoff game?
I think Drake May was very efficient and did what the game plan asked for. You rely on your tight ends. You take your check down. Did you see how he took his check downs? And it worked for him. He was throwing it over. One time, one of them got picked, but he was taking what the defense gives him. But and he used his legs.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this here, Walt, because I know you're a wide receiver guy. When you have literally, what was it, like 4 completions to wide receivers last night?
Yeah.
Is that sustainable as an offense?
I'm gonna say it like I wouldn't give a damn long as we win in the playoffs, because that check we all get the same thing.
What you're saying, do what enough to do what you got to do to win.
At this point, you're not looking for stats. You're looking to win.
Yeah.
You won't be a part of it. If that take me running down the field and running the defense off out of those 70 plays, if I had to do it 69 plays out of those 70, I'm okay with it as long as we winning. Now, if we losing, then that's a different thing, because then you say, well, you could have relied on me a little bit more. But when you winning, that's winning football. We played winning football. We did what we did enough to win this game. And that's how we. And
I think that's all Drake May did. He did enough
let me ask you this: last night, it didn't seem like the weather was that bad.
No,
but both offenses struggled for in my opinion.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
offenses struggled. Big play from.
But I've been talking about it all year. Man, when you get into them inclement weather, it's going to play a part, especially when you talk about January. When you talk about going to Pittsburgh,
New England.
New England, even Seattle on the West Coast, because that's northern. That's what is that?
Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, Pacific Northwest.
Now that's one thing I do give Vrabel credit for, and I even gave him credit for this when he was with the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
He always had a weathersproof offense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? His
Derrick
offense was.
Henry.
Yeah, that was the weatherproof offense.
What more could you want? But even Chicago and Denver, all those everything that's going through, now it's gonna be cold weather. So you have to. That's why you want to learn how to. That's why the trenches is so important because you're gonna have to run the ball. And before this playoffs is over with, we're gonna have one of those games where you can't do nothing but hand it off.
Yeah.
Where the wind is going to play a factor. It's going to be raining and snow, and it's going to play a factor.
Yeah.
So the trenches is so important. So we're going to have one of those games. Watch and see.
Their defensive line played a great game in those trenches, too. As Rocky said, they usually have a pretty weatherproof
And
plan
young,
moving
man.
forward.
They
and
playing-
super young.
They super young. They the youngest team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that you're right. Chicago, you're gonna have to deal with those elements.
Yeah.
New England, you're gonna have to deal with those elements, and then whether it's Pittsburgh or
They coming to New
Houston.
England. Whoever wins is going to New England.
oh, they going to New
Anyway.
England.
Yeah,
Okay,
whoever
but
wins
it
is
ain't
going.
nothing going to coming to Texas because they're a wild card.
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying, I thought one of the I thought what's the name was a wild card.
Who?
The team that beat not Carolina, but the team that beat
But Buffalo won. Buffalo
Buffalo
they're
won.
going to Denver.
Yeah.
Buffalo
Oh, so they
going to Denver.
automatically going to Denver.
They going to
They're
Denver.
the
Buffalo's already
lowest
in Denver.
seed no
Yeah,
matter
they're
what.
lowest,
Okay.
Which it ain't gonna play
So,
no part to them because Buffalo.
Yeah,
I better
that's
go to
a-
Denver. That's
Yeah.
going to a little high.
That's like going to the
Yeah,
tropical
yeah,
from,
yeah. That's like
from
going
over
to
there.
Miami.
Yeah, that's going to be a
And,
good one.
hey, and that's a situation where I think that sets up great for Josh Allen. To be honest with you,
That's what I was going to go to with these next matchups. Yeah, I think that is going to set up great for Josh. Not playing in Buffalo is going to set up great for Josh Allen. He's been able to win in Buffalo, but everyone knows it's going to be -10 by the time they get to Buffalo this time of year. I think that'll work well for him. Patriots move on to the next round. As I just said, get the winner of this Pittsburgh and Texans game. So I'll go ahead and put my Texans in that one next, and we're going to play a bunch of man-to-man on them like they just did to the Chargers a second ago. But I want to go to these next round games before we talk about the Pittsburgh and Texans tonight. First one, the matchup you just spoke about, Buffalo and Denver next week. Playing in Denver, the weather will be a factor, but it won't be as big of a factor. Projected to be 42 degrees in Denver, Colorado whenever they play in the next game. As of right now, Buffalo is favored on the road against the top-seeded Denver Broncos for this divisional game matchup. Rocky, I'll start with you. What do you think about this Buffalo and Denver matchup? And then what do you think about Buffalo being favored on the road over the top
I mean,
team?
I think this is fair. I think you got Bo Nix coming in on this is his first playoff start, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he started last year, and they got blew out by Buffalo.
Yeah, so I just don't.
But in Buffalo.
Yeah,
In Buffalo.
Well, let me say this. I just don't think this is a good matchup because I think just simply Josh Allen can put up enough points that can go places offensively that in a playoff game Bo Nix can't get to. You know what I mean? Like this is a playoff, guys. If Josh Allen goes to 28, 30 points, can Bo Nix put up those many points, that kind of points? And I just think that's the situation you're gonna have to deal with. The game's because of that, the game's gonna be always close. Mm-hmm. And if the game is close, you got to give it to my man Josh Allen in that situation.
Yeah, and I agree with Rocky. That's the reason it's the 3 points. That's what you say. Hey, Bo Nix, Josh Allen. You compare them. Yeah. Who you gonna take?
Yeah.
Who you gonna take as a quarterback?
Yeah.
And Denver's defense is elite.
Elite.
So if Denver is going to win this game, it's going to be because they stopped Josh Allen from doing his thing. But Josh Allen hadn't really been stopped. You know,
What are you
the only
gonna
thing
do?
that stopped Josh Allen is Josh Allen. When he turns the ball over. But
He's reckless.
Reckless. And this, that, and other. But if he go out and do what he did, take those 7 and 8 yard passes, run the ball when he needs to, get 3 or 4 big plays, then we might have to go for touchdowns. And just get field goals
If
or
he's
whatever.
healthy, I take Josh Allen all day long.
So y'all were both, and I'm back and forth on this one.
I'm gonna take Denver. I'm gonna take Denver.
Yeah,
because I think Denver defense is elite. They can rush the passer, but they can also stop the run. They the best defense in the league. Them and the Texans. So at this time of year, I mean, you're a defensive guy. What do they say about defense during this time of year? They say they win Super Bowls, right?
But there's a dynamic here, Walker, that you have to deal with. Can Bo Nix execute against the best passing defense in the league? Again, can they win exclusively running the ball? I don't know that Denver's running attack is that effective. They're going to have to pay. So my question is, can Bo Nix, and I'm just talking about Bo Nix.
If he plays within this offense and he takes the checkdowns and he takes exactly what the defense gives him, I think they can because
I hate to ask seeing how many turnovers he's had this season because every time I sit down and watch,
he threw 4
every time
in one game.
Yeah.
11 picks,
every time I sit down
How
and
many
watch
Josh Allen threw?
10.
Okay.
But I think
But-
can we go to
but-
touchdown? Do you want to compare that? Shit.
But then I'm gonna go.
You
but
trying to
then-
say they the same player? No,
No,
I
I'm not-
understand
I know
that.
they ain't. No, I know they not the same player.
No, my only point in this is I understand why you take Denver.
I'm taking Denver. This is the reason I'm taking Denver. I'm taking Denver because they're at home. They're at Mile High. And because of their defense. And I think their defense is one of those guys when you cue on a guy and you key on a guy and you key on a guy like Josh Allen, I think they can do it. I think they can do it. And that's the only reason I'm taking Denver.
Now, the only thing that gives me pause is because Pastor Ting II can literally erase Diggs.
That's it.
And they can erase
it
anybody.
Ain't no dig.
Yeah.
It ain't no dig.
It ain't nobody out there for.
It ain't no dig.
And that's what I was gonna say. If
who they got that scared you?
And then
I'm in cover 1 the whole night.
So I'm cover 1
or cover 0 because I don't. And you're not scared of a soul on Buffalo's offense outside of Josh Allen.
Now, this is a
my
game
thing
where
is I got me a spot, then I got 8 people in the
Yeah,
box.
that's what I'm saying.
This
I'm
is a
cover
game
1
where
all
somehow
game.
this is what I'll say. He's gonna have to use, in my opinion, Cook in the passing game to kind of loosen things up.
have to.
Because
You don't
I
have a
don't
choice.
think the wide receivers in this game offer any resistance.
They not gonna be
to
open. Not one person out there is gonna be open. They can't get open on Riley Moss. Certain is just you might as well not even look over it. They can't get open on Riley Moss.
I think and Denver covers the tight end better than any team in the whole league.
And they got the most sacks in the league.
Yeah, so
It's a bad matchup in my opinion. I think Josh Allen goes home. I think the Broncos take
Can
off.
Bo Nix put up enough points is my question.
Can Josh Allen score
all they have to
2
do is put up
touchdowns?
field goals, and I think this is like I said, the defense is gonna win the game. I think they get 2 turnovers against Josh Allen,
Okay.
and I think it's a low scoring affair. But
So you're talking about 17-10. You talking
21-13 was my score prediction.
somewhere in
21-13.
there. I don't think those team. I don't think either one of them scores over 20.
Because I don't see Josh Allen scoring 28 points on this Denver defense. Now with these guys that he got out there throwing the Khalil Shakur 12 times, ain't gonna work against Surtain and Riley Moss. But it's gonna be a close one. I see.
I think Dawkins can
But I see why the odd makers.
I think
Me too,
I
'cause
think
of Josh
Dawkins
Allen.
can do a good job on one of those pass rushes.
On one of them.
Yeah.
Dawkins.
Yeah, on one of them.
Yeah.
It's everybody else. And their line has been playing. I'll give them credit. They line played great against Jaguars. But this ain't the Jaguars.
Okay.
Everybody hyped up the Jaguars defense these last few weeks.
I think they
This
got
ain't the Jaguars.
they got the thing that kills Dawkins and that speed.
Yeah.
They don't have no bull rushers.
Both of them speed
They ain't got no bull
Benito
rushers. They
is a
got some
speed
guys
guy.
coming off the
Yeah.
corner,
Yeah.
like Von Miller used to do.
Benito
in
got
his
14
prime.
sacks for a reason, and they led the league in
Yeah,
sacks.
yeah,
for
yeah.
They got some monsters out there.
We'll see.
Yeah, we're going to see as we get closer. Let's go to some of these other games real quick. the other game that is set, Seattle versus San Francisco.
I'm taking Seattle.
Another rematch. We talked about this a little bit off cam. I'm back and forth on this one. I think Seattle's defense is playing great. I just get nightmares about what I've seen from Sam Darnold in these similar situations. I know this is a different team, different defense, all that kind of stuff, but it's still Sam Darnold. 49ers are so beat up at this point that would be the reason why I lean towards Seattle. But I would take San Fran in the point. They got Seattle favored by a touchdown. I'd take San Fran on the points. Now, I don't know if they're a touchdown.
Well,
these guys.
so this is what I'll say. If you get Brock Purdy behind and he has to throw the ball 30 times a game without the rushing game as a threat, I'd have seen that.
Yeah.
And
It
it looks
becomes
horrible.
predictable.
Yeah.
It becomes
Yeah, it'd
predictable.
be hard. And I don't, you got to understand, Jigba,
Jack
you know what I mean?
Jigba. Yeah.
Like they can't even, them guys can't cover none of them guys that Seattle got.
Yeah.
They can't cover none of them guys.
Leading in yards.
Yeah.
But this is the reason I'm gonna say Seattle is gonna win because they got a two-headed monster in that backfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got Kurt Cabernet and Walker
Ken
Jr.
Walker, yeah.
Them boys is nice, man.
Yeah, they
And
nice.
this game wasn't this game played a couple weeks ago too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I take the ball out of Sam Darnold here. I just let him do enough.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that's what they're gonna do.
I'm getting it to them boys, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game was played. Now, again, this game was played at the.
And they held them to 3 points. And they took
Yeah.
McCaffrey away.
They did.
Yeah, it
What
was
did McCaffrey have?
a little of nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they punished him, Walker. Like
Yeah,
I
they
said,
didn't. Nobody did
So
nothing. He had 23 yards.
And they
rushing.
did
8
it like
carries,
that the first game. They did
23
it like
yards.
that the first game.
Yeah.
You know, but I
and
think Seattle
like you
wins
say, this is where they got beat up at right here.
Yeah.
rushing.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
they
yeah.
got, they got
What
beat
they rush
up.
for?
108.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. That's where the game is going to be won at. They
Yeah.
take the ball out of
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's hand and give it to your running backs. You got a two-headed monster over there. These boys can run the ball, man, and they can play defense.
All that old misdirection stuff they was doing,
Yeah.
I watched the game. That misdirection wasn't misdirected.
No,
No, not at all, not at all.
You line up,
Yeah.
line up, let them know what you're doing. We running right at you. You got to stop us.
Yeah. I think that's going to be another one. That third time playing this year, it'll be
They
when
were
when
running
those two
zone
teams match
defense
with each
against
other.
them, and they was punishing them every time they.
Yeah, and
they
that's what I
was-
like because Kendricks played a good game yesterday for San Francisco.
Yeah, he did.
I'm
Eric
sorry
Kendricks.
he didn't do that
Yeah.
when he was in Dallas.
Yeah.
But he was a part of that run defense. But the thing you do is you run right at him. Run
Yeah.
right at him. Put them when you put a hat on a guy and then he trying to make a tackle.
Yeah.
It's
I think
hard to do that.
They out of
man.
bodies, man. San Fran, this is going to only go for so long. I think they just out of bodies at this point. Now, with Kittle getting a torn Achilles too, that could just probably be.
They don't,
the
and then
icing
they don't
on
have
top
a
of the
threated
cake.
receiver because Jennings
No
is a
threat.
big guy.
Yeah, no threated receiver.
But I tell you what, old guy played good yesterday.
DeMarcus Robinson. He
DeMarcus
did.
Robinson. He
A
played
vet.
great. Yeah.
A vet. He played well for them.
Is that the guy
this
from
last
the
week.
Rams?
Yeah, from
yeah.
everywhere.
Rams,
From the
yeah.
Broncos, from the Rams,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
49.
Yeah.
He done been in a little
Yeah,
bit
he got
everywhere.
loose. He
was
got
on
loose
the
last
Texans
week.
for a couple year or for a year or two in there.
Look quick too.
Yeah, had
he
some
look
pop
good.
to
He
him.
look
That
good.
game
He
will
look
be this coming up Sunday. Let's talk about the game that's about to come on in about 45 minutes here. The Houston Texans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll let you guys talk about this one. Obviously, I'm taking the Texans in this. I'm taking the Texans in every game that we're going to be in for the next 3 weeks. So that's not going to be any surprise to anybody. But this defense against a lackluster offense, they're below average offense. They got a below average defense. I just don't see a way that the Steelers could win in this game here tonight. But obviously, that could be me talking from a fan standpoint. So, Wayne, what do you think about the game tonight?
Man,
Texans and Steelers.
They playing in Pittsburgh. But if this game was played on Mars, I would still take defense travels, man.
Yeah,
Defense travels, man. I just
tough.
don't see
I
it.
watched this team struggle, man. I don't know how I end up doing this, but maybe they just been on TV that much. But I watched them like their last 5 games, right?
Steelers.
Ever
Steelers.
since
Oh,
They've
it's
been on
Aaron
TV every week.
It's Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers effect.
Yeah, they've been on TV every week the
and-
last
so-
3 weeks.
So and I know the last 2 weeks they didn't have
DK.
DK. But the week before that, when they had DK, they literally exclusively passed the ball to DK. Like they wasn't trying to go nowhere else. He wasn't.
Nope.
And I don't think against this defense you're gonna be able to do anything like that. And then he is literally a sitting duck back there.
Yes,
so,
he is.
And on top of that, surprisingly for a Steelers team, they don't run the ball.
No, they haven't been able to run the
well.
ball in a decade.
That well.
They ain't been able to run the ball in a decade. I don't know if it's the running back. If
Maybe
it's the
they
scheme,
need
it's the
fast
line.
Willie Parker. You know what I mean?
That's the last time they was able to run it with Willie Parker and them. But no, man, I think it's just too much Texans. We're going to play cover one the whole night. Rodgers does well against the blitz whenever teams try to blitz him. The Texans blitz the least amount in the entire NFL.
It ain't
It's,
fair.
it's going to be straight cover one. It's going to be we rush them with 4.
And they can rush with 4.
We play cover one the most out
you
the
can
entire
play
league.
Now, let me
DK
I-
Metcalf was Stingley out there.
You know, those but here what we got to talk about, though.
Mm-hmm.
Those dome teams, when they come outside,
Yeah, for sure.
that's a real thing.
But we talking about defense.
Yeah.
No.
Now, for
I
offense, it's a different thing.
I understand, but they got to put an offense out on the field.
Steelers got a bottom half defense. In the
No.
league.
I get that, but those historically, when
Yeah.
dome teams come outside in the playoffs,
Yeah,
you know the only that's just
The Steelers shouldn't even be in the playoffs.
they should.
They
they should.
got lucky.
Luke missed that field goal. That's the only reason they hit. And I'm glad because I would much rather play against Mr. Checkdown than play against Lamar Jackson. So I'm very, very glad that they did. That Mr. Luke missed that field goal.
I mean,
for us.
again, I hated to see Lamar lose like that.
Me too. He my favorite player.
But at the end of the day,
The
I
football
would much
gods.
rather. Yeah.
Man.
Football gods.
Much
want
rather
to
play
see
against Discount
Pittsburgh,
Double
man.
Check than
Yeah.
play against Lamar Jackson and play against Dade County
Football
himself.
gods, that's what they wanted too.
So yeah, I see this being it could be close in the first half, but man, mediocre offense, mediocre defense. Give me the Texans 8 days out of the week. I'm taking them. Let's move over a little bit and transition to some college football while we got some time left on here. First, I want to start on the local level. Obviously, the big news around town has been DJ Lagway committing to Baylor and then maybe not committing to Baylor, then taking a visit to Ole Miss, then coming back to Baylor this past couple days and supposedly signed. I seen Robert Griffin put a tweet out and was like, he just signed on the dotted line, so it's official. It's with Baylor. So I'm guessing it's official now, even though it was supposedly official a week ago, and then he took 2 more visits. And so I don't know. But what do y'all think about Lagway coming to Baylor? Does that do anything for Baylor, really? Because honestly, they had a good quarterback last year, and we won 5 games. So does this do something with Lagway coming?
I think they had a better quarterback last year.
They did.
Than
It ain't
what
a
they
thing.
got coming in
They
this year.
did.
I think you have a name coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have a name with some family connections that went to Baylor. But I think it's a publicity thing more than anything. I don't know if they can bring in Lamar Jackson and win. To be honest with you, because you had so many people that defected. You don't really want to pay any money, and then I heard this guy's coming to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all these other guys that you got coming in, they ain't getting paid. I mean, that's the scope of college football today.
So I'm gonna be honest with you, Walker. I'm gonna say this with all intents and purposes, with all honesty. If a quarterback that threw 16 touchdowns and 14 interceptions can get $1.5 million, I was playing the wrong position.
I'm trying to tell you, brother. Hey, and you said it because
You know, I mean, nothing. Let's just be honest. This is a situation where this guy gets his, and this is what's wrong with college football, in my opinion. You end up paying a guy based on what he was coming out of high school.
Yeah, that's exactly what just happened.
because he hadn't done anything. I think he had a freshman year. I think he did well at the end
Got
of the year.
hurt.
Yeah.
He threw 12 interceptions. He threw 12 touchdowns and 9 interceptions as a freshman.
Yeah.
And he only played the back half of the season. He
So
only played in the first part.
I'm looking at him. I'm looking at him like this. You paying for potential.
You playing
Right.
for potential. Yeah.
Paying for potential, but DJ Lagway is not going to be able to do it by himself. Had you had a frontline running back, a hefty
gone.
offensive line,
They love him.
a quality NFL prospect tight end, 2 dynamic wide receivers, then I'd be like, oh
Because then it's plug, it's,
Everything you just said we had last year, and we
because-
won 5 games.
because it's
You know what I mean?
plug and play at
Yeah.
that point, right? So
Yeah. You just-
but all you doing is bringing in the name. It's
You know, you're gonna
publicity.
you gonna have him playing with Pendergrass? What's the
Pendergrass
guy's
will
name?
be the lead.
If it ain't Teddy,
Yeah.
he ain't no way. I would be.
Jalen Miller from Colorado just committed. That's about it.
You know,
man. That's the receiver.
Yeah, that's about it. But I mean, we had good receivers
But
last
that's a-
year,
but that's
and
a
the best
receiver-
tight end last year, and
that's
a
a
good
rec-
running back, and we lost.
But that's a receiver that's already been in the Big 12, right?
Yep.
So he didn't change conferences. He just changed.
he
schools.
probably ain't got 20 catches.
No, he don't.
So
He was better as a running back last year for Colorado than he was a receiver.
He may be a running back at Baylor for you.
He
before you
need,
know.
he need to be a running back at
So-
Baylor.
But I just don't think you had a personnel. You bring in a
No.
quarterback, but I think it's more.
Let's not even mention defense.
It's more areas.
But who you got on the roster? See, here's what
that's
I'm
what I was
saying.
going to say.
Yeah.
You got to address more than just a quarterback.
We had a better offensive roster last year. And we won 5
But I
games.
think, but here's
But
the
I ain't
deal.
hating on the brother because the brother.
Nah,
gets
he got paid. I ain't
Here's
hating
the
on him.
deal. If you Dave Aranda and you going into your final season at Baylor and you need somebody to save your job, and you depending on DJ Lagway to do it,
Start paying.
you might
Zillow.com. Realtor.com. That's what you
know.
finna be on, man. I'm sorry.
You know,
I'm a
and
Baylor
let me-
fan, but come
you
on,
know,
bro.
I love Dave Aranda, and I'll say this: I think he's a quality coach, and I'm gonna be honest with you. And you may disagree with me. You may think Dave Aranda has done Baylor a disservice. I think Baylor did Dave Aranda a disservice.
Why you say that?
I say that because 3 years ago now, when I'm talking to my people over at Baylor, I'm like, what are you guys gonna do as far as dealing with this NIL? Oh, we're gonna get Baylor guys. We're not gonna worry about guys who trying to get paid. We're gonna get guys that want to wear the green and gold. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Are they gonna be able to play football?
Yeah.
Cause again, Dave Aranda was the defensive coordinator for the 2019 LSU Tigers.
Yeah.
He knows what it looks like.
Yeah. He knows what it looks like.
He ain't had one guy at Baylor that could start on that team.
And my only rebuttal to that is, I think I could have won at least 8 games with that defense. I think almost 9 guys went to the pros, and 5 of those guys were first round.
What I'm saying is,
he had a little help too.
He has to be able to go get those guys.
Yeah.
And if he had a big enough bag, he could go get them because he knows what they look like.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Now. I mean, you think about it, man. Like Texas got the number 1 receiver in the nation and the number 1 running back.
Yeah.
And flipped both of them
Flip 'em.
because of money.
Yep.
And you got to have money.
I was looking at Texas.
and everybody was saying Texas was broke.
No, here's the
don't know
deal.
why they was
Here's the
thinking
deal.
that.
Texas cleared out their wide receiver room
Yeah.
and their running back room.
Cleared 'em.
But
Hey.
okay, and they end up getting the top 2 running backs in the portal,
Both.
Yeah. Malik Brown.
and then they got 2 top 10 wide receivers.
Yeah.
And they got a guy already there.
Cam was the number 1 receiver.
And
coming
check
the
this
portal.
out. And they gave the guys that was already on the roster ultimatum. You take a pay cut, because this is what we was paying you last year. So if you don't want to take that pay cut, you're welcome to leave and to get in the
Floor pay
So
was
so
too
if
high.
you one of those guys that was
So
running down
they dropped the 400 to something
And
lower.
they dropping it to something lower.
200.
That's why a lot of guys got in the portal because I ain't gonna play for that. I can get more. And you see one of our guys, Kobe Black, jumped in the portal. He's already back at Texas because
Hey, I take
Because
that
you ain't
200.
gonna, because you ain't gonna get you ain't
I'll
gonna
take
get that
that
you ain't gonna
200.
get that nowhere else. If you just run it down on kickoffs, you run it down on kickoffs, you might as well run down on kickoffs for 200.
I'll do it right now.
Right? Yeah, come
I
on.
ain't making no
200K.
guarantees
Yeah.
now.
200K. I don't know who I'm gonna hit, but I'll run.
And then you know, so what they saying is they playing production.
Yeah.
They not playing potential. And all these guys that we recruited, that were 5 stars and this, that, and other. That's why they said they had 30-some guys in the portal. Because they told them they taking a pay cut. We playing potential and production now. Not potential, but we playing production. Paying production.
Paying tackles,
Guys that
paying
produce, yeah.
interceptions,
Yeah.
paying performance bonuses.
Yeah.
And that's what another one of our guys that at Colorado, Coach Prime, they're taking that approach as opposed to last year. They're paying potential. Oh, he left Alabama. He left LSU. Maybe he'll be good. Now they don't pay a lot of dudes. They paid the top receiver in as far as production in the portal from San Jose. They're paying guys. They got the number one cornerback from James Madison. He's coming to Colorado, so they're doing the approach of we're gonna pay for production as opposed to last year.
You know what? Okay, so this is something I said 2 years ago. I didn't know this was the deal. I said rather than go to high school guys, Power 5 schools need to recruit Group of 5 performers and FCS performers. Okay, but what would Power 5 schools do? Still looking at high school ratings, determining who they were gonna pick. And it's simple. I heard a guy say it. Coach Prime said it last week. If a high school player can't help me next year, I don't care how many stars.
Coach Prime said it last year. He said that last year in the portal. And that's facts.
That's facts.
Kirsten changed everybody's thinking on it though. It's now that they seen it work.
Yeah.
And the coach from Prairie View said this. He said this because they have the coaches conference going on now in Charlotte, and he said this on stage. I can't depend. Me and my coaches can't depend on 18-year-olds to keep our job.
That's out of the loop now. So high school recruiting is if you ain't a 5-star and you ain't coming in and play.
So I think there's a gap in the market right now as far as recruiting, is that the players at these Group of 5 schools, FCS schools, there should be some on 3 should invest in people that post recruiting grades or value grades for those guys. Yeah. Because that's to me, that's the fertile ground for.
It is. Those are the guys getting paid right now. A lot of these guys jumping in the transfer portal is going to Kentucky and these other places and getting $150,000. And these dudes that went to San Jose State and James Madison are getting $600,000, $700,000 in the portal because they got the production to match. That makes
Has anybody picked up that James Madison quarterback? Yeah.
Yeah, he went I can't remember where he signed to, but he already signed somewhere, I believe, as well. That's the place to go. That's become the new JUCO. And that's Group of 5 schools is the new JUCO.
Even at Texas Tech just let 25 of them go.
Yep, sure did.
Because
one thing about Texas Tech did last year, they took a lot of 5th-year guys from FCS and Group of 5. Like they took a lot of guys that were seniors. That
were productive.
Yeah. They were All-Americans. And
David Bailey was productive at Stanford, and they went and paid him the bag, and look what he did this year. Almost broke records this year.
And they're going to have Texas is going to have the number 1 recruiting deal in the whole portal, okay? Yeah. But Texas Tech is going to be a top 5. LSU is going to be
Oklahoma State got number 1 right now, but that's just based off of ratings because a lot of the guys came over from UNT that was rated high and left with their coach too. Let's look at these games real quick before we run out of time. Indiana pretty much completely shuts out Oregon, dominates Oregon 56-22 in this game. Their defense was able to do whatever they want. Fernando Mendoza didn't throw for a lot of yards, but man, the dude was throwing dimes out there, almost perfect passes each and every time that he threw out there. 17 for 20, 177 yards, but threw 5 touchdowns in this game. Another dominant performance from the Hoosiers. Moved to 15-0 as they go into the playoff. What do you think about the Hoosiers' performance against the Oregon Ducks, and can they replicate this and do it again in the national championship?
Jalen, this is what I'm gonna say. Before these playoffs started, and they made them the number 1 seed and all of that. You said something. You said that Indiana was the most complete team that you've seen all year.
Yep.
You said it. And I said, use a lie. That's what I said. They ain't going to be able to play with the big boys.
I think this is just a setup for us to tell him, you was right, Jalen. If that's all you want to hear, you were right. You were right. You were right.
But you were right. Because I was saying they're not going to be able to play with the big boys. And the big boys, I was saying, was coming from the SEC. Because they play so much. It's football. That's where all your first rounders come. That's where all your 5-stars go. And then they just beating up on each other. But when they get a chance to beat up on somebody else, they gonna beat up on them. But you was right. I'm gonna tell you right. And when I seen them last week, I said, man, ain't nobody beating those guys. Ain't nobody beating those guys, man. They got a complete football team. Yeah. And they got the coach to match.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they, in this situation, it's I think I like Mario Cristobal. And I think Mario Cristobal, though he's a below average in-game coach, I think for preparation and game plan, I think he's above average coach. But as a game day coach, if you watch Miami, you'll see he's not, game day wise, he's not. Now, Kurt Signetti is a great preparation coach, and he's even a great game day coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is one of the situations where all the advantages, coaching, quarterback, defense, the only advantage that Miami has in this
home
game
field.
well, we give home field. I'll give offensive line and then wide receiver. Like and wide receiver probably is a push.
When you take in totality.
Yeah. It's probably a push.
Because that all depends on quarterback too.
Yeah.
I mean,
so in this game, I don't know what it's gonna look like. I just don't have any expectation for Miami to win this game with Carson Beck at quarterback. They need Josh Allen if they're going to win this game. You know what I mean? Like if they had a guy like that, I would say they have a chance against Indiana, but they don't have that guy. That guy. And to be honest with you, Indiana's well coached. The only guy that they can't match up with on the field is Tony.
Yeah,
but I don't know that they can.
Yeah.
They'll be able.
Nobody in the country can match up.
Yeah, but to because I picked Ole Miss to win it all, and I think Ole Miss had a good game plan. They just needed Texas Tech defense in their offense. Because they can't stop nobody.
No,
they can't stop
nobody at all.
But I think that Indiana's offense is more dynamic than Ole Miss's. So I think they're gonna be in trouble, and I think Signetti. Game's playing better than anybody. He got a complete. It's all three phases of the game that they play, and he has his guy play harder than anybody in NCAA football right now. Yep. And these guys believe in him, and he believes in these guys. He went out and recruited them. Man, they're gonna do something special that has never been done in Indiana, and that's gonna be to win a national championship. Man, the football gods has a way of saying that sometime, man. Our God, man. I think our God is going to be wearing the Indiana helmet this weekend. And I think on Monday. Yeah. I'm giving it to Indiana. I just think they have a complete football team.
And the main advantage that Miami does have, Rocky spoke to it, their offensive line and their defensive line, and then their speed. The thing is, I don't think they have the quarterback to take advantage. If they go 5 wide, Indiana's not fast enough for if they go 5 wide to keep up with any of these guys on Miami's roster. The problem is they don't have a quarterback that plays like that, and that's not how Miami plays. They don't play, to your point about Mario Cristobal, they don't play complimentary football. They take dumb chances. It can be 3rd and 2 when they throw a 40-yard deep ball. They don't do certain things that are complimentary, but they have the athletes on the outside. They have the athletes on the offensive line. But what Kirsinetti and these guys have, for one, is belief that that Wayne just talked about, belief in that coach, belief in this system. And then Mendoza, as much as I said he's not that much of an NFL talent, for what he's doing in college, look at the precision that he's throwing the football with the windows he's throwing into against these guys. It's not always just guys wide open for Indiana. The quarterback, they got the coach as well. And then they got age.
And they
got grown men out there.
They're able to keep people off of him too. Like
they are.
Again, I went back and watched some clips of him at California, and he's not the same quarterback he was at California.
No,
much because they're able to keep him clean.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. If those mutants that they have at defensive end get loose on it, because those are some different dudes. Like those are different dudes. Bain and Mesidor is like 2 James Harrisons. If you ask me.
But this is the thing about it. It's like when they had Kevin Green and old boy from Pittsburgh. They had Kevin Green and Lloyd out there. Both of you ain't know which way they were coming from. But this is the problem. Signetti game plans for all of that. Mm-hmm. He knows what he has, and he knows how to coach it well. So Are they going to chip him? Probably so. But then you have a small quarterback. You have a guy that game's playing very well. And then you talk about Miami is not the fast. I think Oregon is a faster football team than Miami on offense.
Yeah.
And they were able to dominate those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand.
Game plan. I think
I throw the Oregon game out for this reason. Those guys apparently weren't ready to play, Walker. Like when you give them 20, when you gave them 21 points at the first
play of the game, a pick six.
So they weren't ready to play. Here's what I'll say against. Here's what I'll say, and this is to Miami's credit. Mm-hmm. Nothing that Ole Miss did, Indiana can do. Yeah, I mean that you can't even compare. I think if Miami is who I think they are, they're more equipped to defend a conventional offense, which that's what Indiana is. What's going to determine how this game is going to play out is the matchup between the Miami defense against the Indiana offense. Because I pretty much know how the matchup between the Miami offense and the Indiana defense is going. That ain't going to yield you a whole lot. Yeah. That's going to yield you about 20, 21 points.
So you saying that Indiana's offense is conventional?
Yes.
I would say they're not.
No, I think they're conventional.
And I agree that Ole Miss can maybe do some things more, but as good as Trinidad Chambers is, man, he's not playing better football than Mendoza is right now. That just is what it is.
Well, see, that's how I think style of play dictates. I don't think so when you're okay.
Because they play a pro style offense.
So listen what I'm saying, Walker. Mendoza, I charted the first half of this game. He was 10 for 11, sure enough. But he only had to throw the ball in unpredictable situations. He never had a third and long.
Yeah.
He never had a. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's when you make a quarterback go look and see how many third and longs or third and mediums Trinidad Chambers had to navigate and execute.
I get
that's when you know what kind of quarterback you got. And again, I get what you're saying. Let's see if Miami can get Indiana the third down. If they can get them the third down, I think they're more equipped to guard Mendoza and that offense than they were Chambers and that offense.
But isn't that what you're trying to do with his offense? You're trying to keep yourself in third and short.
No doubt.
Second and short.
No doubt.
Second and medium, third and short.
No doubt.
And if you get in those situations, then that's
now the other thing is I'm really anxious to see this. How can that huge offensive line by Miami can they block in the passing game and the running game? Because to me, if they can block him in the passing game, that opens up opportunities for
and I think
Carson Beck. Carson
Beck played great last game.
He did. He played better than what I've given him credit for.
And he was matter of fact, he had to play under more pressure than Mendoza did.
Oh yeah,
for
this
sure.
past game.
Because he had to come back. Because Ole Miss had their number.
They were putting pressure on him.
They was. And this Indiana defense is definitely going to have their hands full with the Miami. That's the biggest advantage out of either team is that Miami offensive line. Because as good as those guys are for Indiana, a lot of the times they dominate because they're old guys, not because they're more athletic. They're smarter. They know what to do. But if we're talking about just man on man, Mark Bell, the guard for Miami, is like 6'8", 350 pounds. Like, these are some huge dudes.
Now, this also is a clash in recruiting philosophy, too.
It is.
Meaning that Signetti went for group of 5 FCS guys.
He's got 1 4-star on the team.
Miami went for top-level performers at the Power 5 level.
Yeah.
Power 4 level. They were getting guys that went to other schools at the
and I think they got 35 4 and 5 stars on this.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Indiana's got 1.
Yeah.
We'll see. Again, this will be coaching. This will be talent.
This will be coaching.
And I think I'm looking for an interesting matchup. But I don't have any expectation of Miami winning this game. I think if Miami keeps it close, it could go either way. but I just Indiana's just played too solid. And these at the end of the day, these are college kids, man. And it's gonna be hard for Miami to execute at that level because they really hadn't done it the whole playoff. They got 10 penalties a game. I mean they play. Yeah.
Miami, they've been bailed out of some situations. Like I said, they didn't play complimentary football against Ole Miss.
And then against Ole Miss, like those opportunities that they had 3 or 4 interceptions, man, that's right in their hands, and they didn't take advantage of those. They ended up winning.
They dropped a lot of picks.
But in this situation, if you get those opportunities, you're going to have to make them.
Yeah, you got to make them. It's going to be who plays the most mistake-free football. That would be the reason why I take Indiana. I think they'll just make less mistakes. Miami's way too talented.
I don't know the health of Bain and Mesidor because both of them, I think, kind of went down.
Yeah. Mesidor was hurt.
Yeah, Mesidor was hurt for real. I think they'll both play just because the scenario is natty. They both going to play and all that. I don't know if they do Toradol in college or not, but if this is the NFL,
they got it.
If this is the NFL, you know you're finna be on that shot, so you ain't gonna feel nothing out there. You feel it all Wednesday, but on Sunday you ain't gonna feel nothing.
They don't wear
out
off
there.
to the third quarter, I heard.
Yeah.
Man,
longer than that, I've heard dudes say they don't feel nothing on Monday.
Man, you can
and on Tuesdays when they say they feel everything.
You have a broke ankle and you be out there playing on your broke ankle.
Playing free. Definitely. Lots of good games coming up. Texans Steelers getting ready to come on in just a minute. I'm finna get somewhere and get situated so I can watch these Texans beat up on old man Aaron Rodgers. But thanks, everybody, for watching here with us today. Out of time here on Centex Primetime. Appreciate Wayne and Rocky for jumping on here with me. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk some more about the transfer portal and talk some more about the lack of transfer portal going on here at Baylor. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Same time, same place. Getting ready to sign off here today. We'll see you. Hit that like, share, subscribe button as well. See everybody here tomorrow. Everyone have a great evening.